3 homages. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Namo, namo, namo.
Good morning, everyone. So good to see you all, and good morning to those of you tuning in at home. From far and wide, we are happy to still offer the live stream. We will begin our service, as we traditionally do, with our Shoshinge chant. You'll find that in the seat back pocket in front of you or just behind you if you're in the front row. And our Shoshinge is a pleasantly long poem written by our lineage founder, Shinran Shonin, the monk at the top there with these tassels. And he wrote this as a prayer and teaching to all of the teachers of our lineage that are pictured over there, the 7 teachers there. And chanting, if you're new, it's vertical, so in columns going from right to left, down, just so you know. And it's really about the vibration and the feeling of the chant more than understanding what every word means. So better not to fixate on the words more than the feeling, and let that vibration flow through you and feel the whole energy of everyone in the Hondo is a really beautiful thing. So the Shoshinge is more than the simple journey from cradle to grave. Shinran wanted us to know that we are responsible for extending that thread of life from deep, deep in the past into the future. So by learning and practicing and being together in Sangha, that is how we do that. As we are chanting the Shoshinge, we have our incense offering here in gratitude to the infinite wisdom and compassion of Amida Buddha right there on our high altar. So when you come up to the Oshoko altar, just have that mindfulness practice of gratitude, that offering thanks to all of the causes and conditions in your life that have brought you here today to be in Sangha together and learn about the Dharma. We have other altars in our Hondo. On that wall is our Kanon Bodhisattva altar of compassion. If you want to send out a little more compassion to a loved one or to yourself or someone who has recently transitioned, please honor that altar by offering a candle. And then we have our Medicine Buddha altar here. If you need a little more healing energy, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, any kind of healing, please offer some incense there. So we welcome you to participate and chant the Shoshinge with us, or just listen and close your eyes and feel it. Thank you so much. Shoshinge.
나무 부가시기고 오조보사히니지 사이세지사이 오부쇼 토켄쇼부조도인 코쿠도닌덴 시젠마크 건유무조슈쇼간 조케라이그제 고코시유이시쇼주 주세묘쇼몬니포 부호무료무행포 의계무타이코엔노 쇼조간니치에코 부단난시무쇼코 초니칭아코 쇼진세 이사이군조무코쇼 홍간요고 쇼조고 시신신요간니인 조토가쿠쇼다이네한 이시메노간토주 뇨라이쇼이코슈세 유이세미다 홍강카이 고조쿠아쿠지군조카이 오신요라이뇨짓곤 노이치넨 기아이신 부단본노 토쿠네이한 본쇼야쿠호사에뉴 요시시누 카이치니 세슈신고조쇼고 이노스야무요한 도나이신업시은무 조프신진신진텐 이뇨니코푼무 은무시예묘무한 야쿠신킹효다이교키 소코조제고 아쿠슈 이사이젠마크본부닌 몬신요라이 그대간 분강고다이쇼게샤 레이닝요 분다리케 미다부호간nem부 자켄교만아크슈조 신교주지진니난 난주시난무카시 인도사이텐 시용예 주카지지키시코소 겐다이쇼코세쇼이 묘묘라이온 세요키 샤카뇨라이 요가센 이슈고묘난텐지그 류주다이지슈토세 진노자이하무켄 센제다이조무조호 쇼칸기지 쇼안라크 켄지낭요로그 신교이요시도라크 오크넨 미라부홍간 지넨 소크지 뉴히조 유이노조 쇼뇨라이고 오다이히 규세온 헨짐보사조론세 기묘무게 공요라이 에이슈타라 켄신지 고센 오초 다이세연 고유홍간 리키에코 이도근조 쇼이신 기누크노크다이호카이 인야크뉴다이 에이슈슈 토쿠시렌게 조세카이 쇼쿠쇼신요호쇼신 유보노린 겐진즈 뉴쇼지오지오게 本自動乱両天使超高乱消防さらい三蔵る四十条教本書専用気楽法天人菩薩論中下報道因果健全案大げねこゆたりき少女死因唯心人惑前本部新人法承知所持即内藩非死無料光明道小雨修上開封系同社継承道南省唯名浄土かつぬ万全自力変言中変満特語感染症三不三心軽音言増魔法明道非因異生造悪知偶税思案了解証明か
全道六名無償意
法愛上三要逆悪光明明語権二年開入本願大智慧幼者小樹今後心狂気一年相互用意大東逆三人即小小子両楽現金公開一大教変気安養可二祭先祖出身反戦人法慶二道小弁流六十悪人唯勝負害薬剤非正集中煩悩証言追不見大非無見上昇が本自元空妙仏教連民全幕本部人新宗教書公編集戦弱本願具悪性現来生じ臨伝芸慶地義上一生死即入略上無意楽一心人二のぬ不教大自主死と上妻無縁極俗悪同族自主愚道心唯過心し創世
ナムアミダアブ
なむあにだあぶなむあみだあぶなむあみだぶなむあみだあぶなむ
ミダジョブのこの方は
今に自己をへはまえりほしのこうりえんきわもなあくせのもみ Amida Abuna Amida
We have a fun little thing we're doing today, a baby blessing ceremony. So, very exciting. On behalf of the parents, Hector and Katie Orea, we welcome their family to this special ceremony. May you please come up to the front where Reverend Matthew is.
Anyone? Anyone?
They're working on it. There we go. Okay. A baby blessing for the newest addition to their sweet family is their son, Dimitri
Down this
Orea.
way.
He's smiling at me. Hi. Hi there. He's so cute. This is a very joyous day for them and for all of us. We come. Look at that. He's a natural. We come together to take part in this ceremony. Yes, we do. To recognize and honor and welcome their beautiful baby boy, Dimitri, to the wider community of family and friends and into this Buddhist Sangha. Yay! Dimitri represents our future and the light of the world.
Yes.
Today, we simply give thanks and celebrate all the many wonderful blessings that Dimitri brings. He is a celebration of love and life. Yes. He came into this world with his own karma. Yes. Through many, many causes and conditions that make up his life, he is a gift. Dimitri smiles and laughter and clapping and waves, and his presence enrich all who know him. We are honored to welcome you to our community. Please know that you always have friends, teachers, and Dharma friends here at the Reno Buddhist Center, in addition to the support and love of your own family and friends. Our community is a place where you can give and receive the Dharma, friendship, and help. We will guide you so that you will be aware of your own Buddha nature, the seeds of love, compassion, generosity, ethical discipline, patience, joyous effort, concentration, and wisdom already exist inside you. We will help you to cultivate that aspect of your Buddha nature. Trust in the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, as we chant together every time we meet. We will now perform the blessing for Dimitri Orea. Reverend Matthew will touch the tassels to the top of his head. Would you like that, Dimitri? Ooh. You will learn through your own life experiences. We will do our best to give you the skills to make wise decisions and handle situations creatively and with kindness. You are connected, protected, loved, and blessed. And now you will touch the tassels to his little forehead, if you can reach it. All your senses are blessed, protected, and awakened. And now you'll touch it over his heart. Oh. May you develop a kind heart in all that you do. Your heart is blessed, so that you may feel compassion for yourself and others. And now, try to touch those tassels on his hands.
Well, that's easy. Getting it back, that's the hard
Getting it
part.
back might be hard.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Very good. Your hands are blessed so that you may reach out to the world. And now, this will be easier. Touch the tassels to Dimitri's feet. Your feet are blessed so that you may connect with the earth, be grounded, and stand with confidence and kindness in this world. Know that your spirit is strong and will guide you through this life. Know that you are deeply loved and that your presence brings overwhelming joy. And I can certainly say that it does. Thank you so much. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu.
Yay. Thank you.
And on that note, we will sing the children out to Dharma School on the front lawn.
Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk, just walk. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk you. Let the Buddha walk, just walk. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk with you.
Good morning. Today's reading is the Sakabhimbanga Sutra, Analysis of the Four Noble Truths. Thus I have heard, on one occasion, the Buddha was staying near Varanasi in the deer park at Isipatana. There he addressed the students. Students, yes, teacher? The Buddha said, students, here in this deer park, the Tathagata, rightly self-awakened, set in motion the unexcelled wheel of Dharma that cannot be stopped by anyone, not Brahman or seeker, any Deva, Mara, or anyone at all in the cosmos. This was the great declaration, teaching, revelation, exclamation, and making plain of the Four Noble Truths. Of which four? The declaration, teaching, and making plain of the noble truth of the joyless life. The declaration and revelation of the noble truth of the cause of the joyless life. The noble truth of the ending of joylessness. The noble truth of the path of practice leading to the joyful life. Here the Tathagata set in motion the most unexcelled wheel of Dharma that cannot be stopped. These Four Noble Truths. Students, associate with Shariputra and Moggallana. Come to know them. They are wise friends, sympathetic toward fellow travelers in the spiritual life. Like the mother who gives birth, that is Shariputra. Like the nurse raising the child after it is born, that is Moggallana. Shariputra trains others to the fruit of stream entry. Moggallana leads them to the highest goal. Shariputra is very capable of teaching and making plain the Four Noble Truths in detail. That is what the Buddha said. Having said it, he, the well-gone one, rose from his seat and entered his hut. Not long after the Buddha had left, Venerable Shariputra addressed the students. Friends, here at the deer park, our teacher set in motion the wheel of Dharma. He set forth these Four Noble Truths. First, life can be joyless. Second, this joylessness has a cause. Third, if you remove that cause, joy flows in. And fourth, the path to a joy-filled life. And what, friends, is the fourth noble truth? The path? It is a life of practice leading to joy. It is the very noble Eightfold path. Just right understanding, just right thought, just right speech, action, livelihood, just right effort, mindfulness, and quietude. What do we then mean by just right understanding? Knowing that dukkha is real, that it can end. Knowing that there is non-self, that everything interdependently co-arises. Knowing that karma's cause and effect is real. This is called just right understanding. And what is just right thought? Thoughts of letting go, of freedom from ill will toward any being, and thoughts of harmlessness. This is called just right thought. And what is just right speech? Abstaining from lying, from divisive speech, from abusive speech, and from idle chatter. This is called right speech. And what is just right action? Preserving life, giving generously, and moderating sensuality. This is called just right action. And what is just right livelihood? Abandon dishonesty and keep life going with a wholesome livelihood. This is called just right livelihood. And what is just right effort? When a student generates hope, endeavor, persistence to exert a clear intention for the non-arising of unskillful qualities of body, speech, and mind. This is called just right effort. And what is just right mindfulness? When a student remains focused on the Dharma body in and of itself, ardent, alert, and mindful, putting aside greed and distress, they remain aware of feelings, mind, and mental qualities in and of themselves, ardent, alert, and mindful, clearly seeing the Buddha in all things. This is called just right mindfulness. And what is just right quietude? When a student, quiet and uninterested in sensuality, and letting go of unskillful mental qualities, enters and remains enraptured in a pleasant abiding that comes from letting go of I, me, and my. Letting go of directed thought and evaluation. With this quietude and stillness, they enter and remain in rapture, born of broad and unified awareness, experiencing internal assurance. With the fading of rapture, they remain in equanimity, mindful of the Buddha. They then enter and remain in pleasant abiding. With the abandoning of pleasure-pain, as with the earlier disappearance of elation-distress, they enter and remain in pure equanimity, an awareness of the vision and compassion of the universe. This is called just right quietude. Together, these are called the noble truth of the path of practice leading to joyful life. Here in this deer park, the Buddha, worthy and rightly awakened, set in motion the unstoppable wheel of Dharma. No one can stop these truths from benefiting sentient beings of the 10 directions. That is what the Venerable Shariputra said. Gratified, the students delighted in Venerable Shariputra's words. We will now have a few moments of meditation accompanied by music.
Welcome again to you all. Can folks in the back hear me? I can never really tell. There's some nods of assent, so I guess some of the people, okay, good. Oh, look, a prop. New friends and old friends gather together here as a Sangha, a community, to share the teachings of the Buddha. In the intervening weeks, we've had 2 weddings, a new member dinner, men's group. We gathered together. All important rituals or events that weave the fabric of community together. Each of us is a weaver, and we appreciate everyone's effort to connect and support each other. Last time, we talked about Gautama Buddha, who taught his Dharma path in India about 2,600 years ago. He is the sage of the Shakya people. We say Shakya Muni. He was a person of great insight. He described himself as awakened. What he awakened to was the truth about how everything works. And that understanding gave him a vision or ability to see how much suffering there was around him and how much people struggle. His heart went out to all of us. Great compassion arose within him, as does when one is aware. As I said last time, the Buddha saw that we just suffer so. The first noble truth he recognized was that people slog their way through life, draining the joy out of it, the joyless life. The second noble truth he discovered was the cause of this joyless effect. Filling the mind with wanting is the cause. Suffering of all types automatically flow when we get into this mode of wanting, wanting, wanting. He used the word tanha, which means thirst, but I think thirst and wanting are kind of the same thing. An attitude of greed brings dissatisfaction. It robs us of the joy that is inherent in life. The third noble truth is the end of this puzzle or problem or illness, this joylessness we experience. When we remove ignorant, wanting, and grasping from our heart, we experience joyfulness, far greater than ordinary pleasure, and peace beyond words. The fourth of these noble truths is the path that leads to abiding joy. We can fine-tune our attitude, and that makes all the difference. If we understand the fundamental qualities of existence, if we think, speak, and act in harmlessness, even as we make our way in life with a positive livelihood, we can apply effort, cultivate mindfulness of the Buddha, and just be in quietude. If we do these things, each of us will reach abiding joy, the end of misery. We will reach the enlightenment that the Buddha offers. A joyful, peaceful place in the middle of a pretty dim, dark forest that we navigate through in life. That is the Eightfold Path. That last paragraph was the Eightfold Path, the little explanations we give. And I feel as though this seems repetitive, but it's helpful to repeat things to kind of get the pattern down. So, the Eightfold Path is just right understanding, just right thought, speech, livelihood, just right effort, mindfulness, and quietude. I'm trying to figure out if that comes to 8, but it does. I've got somebody checking me, so that's good. Accountants are very valuable people. Please understand that these folds in the path are intersupporting spokes of a wheel. And you can see, I guess I'll have to use my finger. You can see how each spoke intersupports. So this one may be holding the weight of the wagon, but these two keep it upright. So it's a dynamic system, this wheel. The Buddha did not actually use the word steps or folds. He used the word limb. And in the old days, these pieces would have been made from tree limbs. The spokes were made from limbs. So I'll call them spokes. This is important because each spoke supports the others, and as they support one another, if that makes sense, that dynamism of a wheel. Clearly, in an example, understanding requires mindfulness, and it requires effort. And so, with all the other spokes of the wheel, they're intersupportive. Okay. I should put that down. Sometimes props get out of hand. The Buddha, and in the sutra that Susan read, his supporting teachers, Shariputra and Moggallana, they illuminate the path from darkness to light, a path from delusion and confusion to clarity and joy. These elements of the path work because we are habitual beings. Really, most of what karma is the effects of habit energies on our life. If we follow the Buddha's recommendations and pursue a skillful life, then we will be more joyful. Unskillful actions take us to torment, as many of us know from personal experience. But take heart. All habit energies can be neutralized and reversed with effort, awareness, and deep hearing in the quiet times. These can be rehabited by application of just right effort, just right mindfulness, and just right quietude. These aspects of the Eightfold Path we will talk about today. I call them wisdom on the path because they are the real experience of Buddhism, the application of the Buddha's wisdom. Not the doctrine and ideas, not the guides to a moral life. We'll talk about those in a couple Dharma talks to come. So today, just right effort, just right mindfulness, and just right quietude. I could pause here and point out that in Pali, when you say these just right words, they are called sama vayamo, sama sati, and sama samadhi. And they're very delicate, fine-tuned qualities. That's what sama means. Just right. Not too much, not too little. It's important that we illuminate that kind of Goldilocks quality to sama. So if I forget to say just right, and I say right livelihood, I don't mean the one right livelihood. I mean living, producing, maybe that's not a good example, just right speech. I mean saying things that are just right. They foster and support, they don't harm or interfere. That would be just right speech. Looking more closely at just right effort, some would say that it is the most important of all these spokes. It's interesting. When we think about something, it can seem very, very important. But when we look at the wheel, it does seem strange how one spoke could be the most important one. But I better put that away a little further because I want to pick it up and point. But think about it. If an effort is not made, no one makes progress. Imagine, if you will, how we reach the joyful life that the Buddha promises. A guided meditation would be appropriate here. Okay. A guided meditation works better with the gently closing of your eyes as you're comfortable. I will share the meditation on where we are going and how we get there. Take a few centering breaths. Just naturally breathe in and breathe out until you feel peaceful. Progress on the path is really like we are in a dark, deep wood. Visualize yourself in that deep forest, a thicket, lost, confused, and alone. We know there is a special place, a beautiful, warm, sunny glade. It's somewhere. Enlightenment. But now it is shadowy, and the sun and the moon are obscured by the dense forest. At first, you are casting around, lost and confused. You may not even be walking on any path. Wait-a-minute vines hook you and hold you back. Struggle only makes them worse. You may be changing paths every few steps. This is exhausting and frustrating. Feel that exhaustion of being lost and alone. And then we come upon a fellow traveler, like Shinran, or the friend who brought you here today, or Reverend Matsunaga. They offer their hand and guide us onto a path less traveled. Really, we make our way with the help of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the wise ones, in all their forms and aspects. They give us confidence in the path, and it looks more established to us now. It looks well-traveled. Wise guides support our skillful efforts and point out our failings. They truly love us like we were their only children. Feel that love and support. Now our seeking becomes following. We have faith that this is a viable path. Faith makes travel easier. Together we move through the deep wood of delusion, following the path to that very special garden, the most wonderful glade, peaceful in the midst of all the darkness. What a joy, what a relief. We are bathed in the dappled light of the sun, listening to the babbling of a brook offer up the sound of the Dharma. This is the meditation on where we are going and how we get there. You can open your eyes if you've been transported to that forest. Keep it in the back of your mind through the rest of the talk. In fact, right effort is very important, and you could feel that as you went through meditation. Some effort was required. Nothing happens at all on the spiritual path without making some effort. What just right effort means is exerting effort to leave behind unwholesome states of mind as they have arisen, as the sutra said. This in turn keeps them from arising again because they are no longer your habit of mind. We follow the path to cultivate and maintain skillful states of mind. And when greed, anger, or delusion do arise, we can put them away. We don't put effort into them, we let them go. Those are the wait-a-minute vines in the meditation. Unkindness does not get any energy anymore. We don't wallow in it. That would make it stronger. We don't feed greed and wanting. That just makes them more. We put good, solid effort into cultivating non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusion. foster generosity, loving kindness, and open-mindedness. That is the effort in just right effort. We do make mistakes as we walk the path. That's normal. If we think that a wholesome state of mind somehow miraculously overcomes the unwholesome by itself, that is not right. Turning toward the Buddha will only happen if we make the effort. We make the effort to walk on the path that is offered by the wise ones. Now it seems that just right effort is the very center of spiritual practice. And so the wheel turns. The next fold in the path, the next spoke of our wheel, is just right mindfulness, samasati. Sometimes when we are walking the forest path, especially if it's a dark one, like the one we've been experiencing, we have to really maintain awareness and be sensitive to what the environment is telling us. If we lose sight of our guide, we will be lost again. There's a famous story when Mark Twain was walking in the bottom of the crater of Kilauea with a guide, and so this is the old days when Mark Twain was there. You could just go down in the crater and walk around, walk over to where the lava was, but the sun went down. So now they're in a black hole, and they had to find the trail, and they found the trail with their feet. They would touch it, and the little lava crystal thingies would crunch if you were not on the trail, and they'd be silent if you were on the trail. The good news is he made it, but it's that kind of thing. A great amount of mindfulness is needed to sense if we're on the trail, on the path, or not. So, if we walk off into, now I put you in the caldera. Okay, back into the forest. If we walk off and don't notice, then we're lost again. So we apply mindfulness on the path. And that is where effort is important, to be aware. Mindfulness means noticing what is happening in the moment, not allowing the mind to forget our gratitude to those dear guides that help us. Mindfulness is being alert, attentive, receptive to what is happening around us. Mindfulness training may be simple, like watch your breath. Just watch it. But really, when you do that, you're cultivating the ability to be mindful in every moment. And that is most valuable. Aware and observing without clinging or condemning. Mindfulness is non-forgetting about the Buddha's great compassion and how it supports us and guides us on the path. Our dear Oya-sama, who is always there for us, non-delusion is without clinging and grasping after things. Mindfulness is not judgmental about ideas or people. It observes. It just sees clearly, without condemning, without congratulating. It cultivates non-hatred through the power of mindfulness. The whole of the Eightfold Path, all the factors of enlightenment, are cultivated and energized by this power of mindfulness. In Japanese, we say mindfulness, nen. So that's the first character in the scroll. Nen butsu, mindfulness of the Buddha. Now it seems like mindfulness is the most important, very center of spiritual practice, doesn't it? And so the wheel turns. The last factor on the path we will look at today is just right quietude, samma samadhi, which means the development of openness of mind, broad and wide, as we seek out the wonderful glade of peace in the middle of our forest, the goal of the spiritual life. So even if we make the effort and we cultivate mindfulness of the Buddha in all things, if our senses are not open to all possibilities, it will be very difficult to make the journey and find peace. Broad awareness, absent I, me, and my, that's an overlay. That broad awareness makes possible development of all the factors of enlightenment. A fixated mind, or a mind that is flitting from this to that, to this to that, constantly wavering, just stays on a superficial level. It never goes deep. That's why just right quietude is important. We can deeply hear the universe around us when we experience quietude. We access Sama Samadhi by putting in the effort to learn how to calm the mind and broaden our perspective. We all have the capacity to hear the world around us deeply. The seed is there, but maybe we've not done the good work of cultivating, of weeding and watering and fertilizing that seed to make it bear fruit. So we can do that. The Buddha once said of the folds of the path that just right quietude is the main one, and the others are accessories. Just right quietude is the one we work on the most. To get the mind to open patiently and presently. We learn how to do this through our Nembutsu, bringing the infinite Buddha to mind. That infinity, it opens us more and more and more. We can always broaden our view. Also, we cultivate the sense of value that reminds us of why Dharma practice really is important. The Dharma is important in our lives. Sama Samadhi is the ability to quiet the mind and so pause and see the true big picture, the broad view, deeply hearing the light in the world around us. Now it seems like just right quietude is the very center of spiritual practice. As we walk the Eightfold Path, we use just right effort, mindfulness, and quietude to make progress. We are making our way through that dark forest. We are seeking out that beautiful place that is somewhere in here. With the help of wise guides and our own cultivation of these wisdom practices, we do make progress. Everyone makes progress. Everyone will get there. If we have faith in the other power of the Buddha, the path is clear and wide and easy to follow. It's not a dark forest as much anymore, and we can find our way through. It is well laid out with signposts along the way. All we do is take the offered hand and walk on the path. And we walk, and we walk. And we cultivate each of these aspects simultaneously and separately, however the situation arises. We'll find ourselves closer and closer to that peaceful place. Many, many beings have realized enlightenment, not only in the Buddha's time, but before that time and after that time. Beings who walk the path. They reach peace and joy. The Buddha shared these noble truths out of one great wish for all of us. Please say after me, may you be happy. May you receive boundless compassion. And may peace and harmony fill your heart. Namandap, namandap, namandap. Thank you. At this point, we usually share our Reno Buddhist Center theme song. So if you could stand as you're able, and on page 49 of the service book, the words to the song are there. Masako will play, or has already played, the song for us. Away up. It's interesting. I think that meadow in the song is the same meadow as the little glade in the middle of the forest thing. So things are connected, even when we don't know it. I would point your attention to some announcements. Ooh, a wheel. There are many announcements in our order of service. Most important of which is there are tea and treats downstairs here, so we can gather and talk and have a treat. There's also newcomer circle downstairs too, so just find the table if you're interested in asking interactive questions about Buddhism in the group. Oh, and then in the special box there is a Buddhism 101 class that will be July 23rd, 30th, and August 6th at 10 a.m. That's a Saturday class. 3 classes in a row. If you'd like to participate in that and learn more in an organized way about Buddhism, or maybe you've already been to the class and you want to come again, please do. Thank you very much.